enterprises that have continuously expressed difficulties as it relates to doing business in and with Trinidad and Tobago are voiced." End quote. Reporting for the Evening News, I am Lawanda McAllister.
The National Assembly has passed amendments to the Juvenile Justice Act, which will go towards reducing the backlog of cases and also allow the court to now charge juveniles alongside adults. Here are the details from Jarl Bryan.
The National Assembly concluded debates and passed the amendments to the Juvenile Justice Act on Tuesday. According to Minister of Home Affairs Robeson Ben, the amendments being brought are intended to make the court's work more efficient.
A particular consideration that we have and a challenge that we have, and I must say that there has an increase of about 70% in persons who are incarcerated at the moment, either in remand or sentenced, that there is a challenge of slot perhaps in the courts. There are issues of refusal to take cases. And of course, we know that sometimes we are unhappy with respect to decisions which are made in the court, not to make a criticism, but a critique. Sometimes when you consider issues in relation to persons caught with narcotics or with firearms, evidence is there and direct that the positions taken in the first instance by the court becomes curiouser and curiouser when you examine the issue.
But the APNU AFC opposition was steadfast against the amendments, arguing that it would infringe on the rights of juveniles. Opposition MP Vincent Henry was of the view that the amendments would negatively impact them.
Mr. Speaker, to try juveniles together with adults will certainly have some negative impacts on their emotional, physical, and behavioral well-being. Further, Mr. Speaker, according to the HAQ Center for Child Rights document with subject as juvenile justice in different countries, age of criminal responsibility and treatment of juvenile offenders, I quote, "When a child or young person faces charge for murder or manslaughter, the charge is laid, and the preliminary hearing held in the youth court." This is very important.
However, Public Service Minister Sonia Parag emphasized that the amendments do not mean children will be tried as adults.
Speaker, I'm not sure if there is a deliberate effort to misunderstand what this amendment is about, or whether there is if they're incapable of understanding. But from the onset, a juvenile is not being tried as an adult. They're being tried as a juvenile together with an adult.
According to the amendments, if a juvenile has been accused of committing an indictable offense with an adult and the offense cannot be disposed of summarily, the juvenile may be charged jointly with the adult. Jarl Bryan, The Evening News.
All nurses, midwives, and nursing assistants would now be mandated by law to get registered and licensed following the passage of the Nurses and Midwives Bill 2022 in the National Assembly on Tuesday. Jarl Bryan joins us again with the details.
The Nurses and Midwives Bill 2022, which replaces the Nurses and Midwives Act of 2019, seeks to establish a Nurses and Midwives Council. It also requires nurses and midwives to be registered and licensed before they can practice their profession. These registers will be overseen by said council, and a list of all registered personnel will be published in the Gazette yearly. In his presentation, Attorney General Anand Nandlal explained that the 2019 Act was passed in violation of the Constitution.
In violation of the rule of law, they imposed a legislation on this nation by an ineffective parliament and by a government that lost the power to do so. Rather than, and we have a court ruling from the highest court in this land supporting that position. Rather than accept an error was made, or rather, better yet, accept that they acted unlawfully and they violated the Constitution, every single member on that side spoke with great gusto, trying to justify and explain the flagrant and blatant illegality.
Nandalan noted that even though the bill replaces the 2019 version, it still retains elements of the previous bill. However, former Minister of Health Karen Cummins was still of the view that the old bill should not be replaced.
Mr. Speaker, if there is any veracity in the statement that an act should not be repealed until the current one is passed, then how can this bill be repealed if, according to the members of this People's Progressive Party with a small civic component, it was not duly passed?
The bill was eventually passed, however, and now awaits the President's assent. Meanwhile, the bill also facilitates the establishment of a 5-member disciplinary committee so that persons aggrieved by a Nursing Personnel's Act of professional misconduct could make a complaint. The bill also creates several offenses and penalties, including practicing nursing and midwifery without being registered and licensed, fraudulently procuring or attempting to procure registration using false or fraudulent representation, and directly or indirectly holding oneself out as being a nursing personnel. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
The People's National Congress Reform on Tuesday stated that the Partnership for National Unity, Alliance for Change opposition would formally request from President Dr. Irfan Ali a national consultation on electoral reforms. Find out more in this Amar Prasad report.
This is according to opposition leader Aubrey Norton during a press conference conducted by Zoom on Tuesday.
We have indicated that what we will do is present a formal position on this issue. We have listened to civil society. We have had internally our preparation of a document that will be discussed when we engage GCOM and the wider society.
When questioned about the opposition's late approach, which has taken about 6 months since the government first circulated the proposed draft amendments to the Representation of the People Act, Norton stated that they were avoiding being politicized by the current administration.
Well, it hasn't taken 6 months. We have always formulated our position, but we understand politics in Guyana. If we had run out and be in the forefront of opposing what the PPP was doing, it would have been seen as political. What we have allowed, and we did comment on, for instance, when the Electoral Reform Group gave their position, we did say it was welcomed, etc. What we have allowed is for civil society and others to comment. We have supported, and we believe that at the right time, we will engage and ensure we achieve the objectives we set out. I believe, unlike the People's Progressive Party, there's a place for civil society. And if a political space can be created for civil society to act, then one stands a better chance of finding consensus and moving forward.
The APNU AFC stated that the local, regional, and national elections must meet 3 objectives. Only who are eligible must be registered. Results must accurately reflect the will of those who have voted, and every step of the election process, that is registration, production of voters' lists, voting and counting and tabulation, and the declaration of results, must win the trust and confidence of the public. The opposition stated that they maintain that comprehensive electoral reforms must rest on 4 pillars, which include a number of guidelines, constitutional and legislative framework, hiring the necessary experts to conduct the reforms, and also proposing a thorough and honest reviews of the Guyana Elections Commission. Only recently, Attorney General and Legal Affairs Minister Anil Nandalal began consultation on the proposed changes to the Representation of the People Act. In fact, the Guyana government is finalizing a second set of amendments that would be released to the public soon. For the Evening News, Amar Prasad.
Guyana has recorded 94 new cases of the novel coronavirus, taking the total positives detected to date to 64,020. There are 2 persons in the ICU, 15 in institutional isolation, 429 in home isolation, and 62,346 recoveries. The death toll remains 1,228. Coming up, stamps no longer needed on receipts for retail transactions, and if you are drinking, do not drive. No exceptions, says CIOG. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
With the approval of each new oil production project offshore, more jobs and opportunities are created onshore. And not just for those working in the oil and gas sector, more Guyanese are providing support services in transportation, catering, logistics, accommodation and hospitality, among many others. Oil and gas development is fueling Guyana's transformation.
The government of Guyana, in collaboration with CARICOM, will be hosting its premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your products and services, network with local, regional, and international businesses and investors, and gain invaluable knowledge and exposure from pioneers in the agriculture industry. It's the first ever Agri-Investment Forum and Expo from the 19th to the 21st of May at the Arthur Chung Convention Center.
With unlimited games to choose from, you can be a winner with Superbet. Choose from our virtual sports, live betting, sports betting, live roulette, and much more. Place your bets at www.superbet.gy or visit any one of our agents. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 18 and over. Play responsibly.
The government of Guyana, in collaboration with CARICOM, will be hosting its premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your products and services, network with local, regional, and international businesses and investors, and gain invaluable knowledge and exposure from pioneers in the agriculture industry. It's the first ever Agri-Investment Forum and Expo from the 19th to the 21st of May at the Arthur Chung Convention Center.
Your child needs nutrients every day. Enfagrow has DHA and iron, which supports your child's mental development. Enfagrow has components which cow's milk does not contain. Support your toddler's growth and complement their diet with Enfagrow. Let's fuel the wonder.
This product is not intended to be a substitute for breast milk. Mental development depends on various factors such as stimulation and adequate nutrition. Commercial cow's milk does not contain DHA but contains calcium and other nutrients.
Welcome back. You're watching the evening news. The requirement for revenue stamps to be placed on retail transaction receipts would soon be a thing of the past, as Senior Finance Minister Dr. Ashni Singh on Tuesday successfully piloted the Tax Amendment Act. The amendment to the Act removes the requirement to charge stamp duties on receipts issued for retail transactions. The first reading of the bill took place on April 13, and the second reading and passage by the National Assembly concluded on Tuesday. This measure being implemented forms part of the wide range of relief measures government has implemented since its assumption of office on August 2, 2020. Other measures include the removal of value-added tax on water, household necessities, and educational and medical supplies. We now tell you that the Guyana Police Force has said that due to the COVID-19 pandemic, for the past 2 years, it has been unsuccessful in getting new recruits. Nonetheless, the organization is using this time to work on a system that would boost the quality of individuals being allowed to enter the force as police officers. Luanda McAllister has the details.
Training Officer Keithan King says the Guyana Police Force has not recruited any new officers over the 2 years of the pandemic. Nevertheless, King said the police force is currently focusing on increasing the quality of individuals allowed to enter the organization, as well as boosting the skills of current serving members.
Presently, we are not, and I must say we are not doing any recruit training at the moment at the 3 colleges. However, we are doing other trainings in-house training, that is the gender-based, we call it the cop squad. We have 2 badges of prosecutors presently at the training environment. Also, a badge of trainer-train, and those persons from that trainer-train. That's the reason why we have these trainer-trains, and the component they're dealing with right now, the package is from the University of Guyana. So, whenever you're going to select persons or instructors to be at the college, they must have some core values in terms of being professional. They must have that endurance, accountability, all right? So, and the best practices, they must be prepared to work. You see, Stan, training and being an instructor, it's not everybody could stand in front of class and deliver. So that's the reason why we need to prepare our instructors and have them at a high level so they could give us quality service, they could deliver.
In fact, the training officer posited that the police force will not be accepting persons who do not have any academic qualifications. He said the new requirement will be no less than 3 CXC subjects.
It's going to be tough for them now because the way forward we're looking now in terms of for the acceptance now of a recruit coming into the college now. We're looking for certain qualification, we're looking at skill set, we're looking for the least 3 subject CXC. All right, grade 1, depends if you have that, but the lowest grade is grade 3.
Meanwhile, the force is also working on getting the colleges properly accredited.
We're moving from, or we're trying to, is in the process right now to move a different level. Because we're trying to have the college being accredited to academy stage. So we're moving to a higher standard. And that's the main reason why certain courses or certain training hasn't come on board as yet. Because we want the colleges to be accredited. And then we're going to move the stage further to have the ISO accreditation.
Lawana McAllister reporting for the Evening News.
The Central Islamic Organization of Guyana is calling for action to end the epidemic of road traffic accidents caused by drunken drivers. In this Vanu Manichand report, you will hear that the religious organization is not only urging persons under the influence to not get behind the wheel, but is also imploring the authorities to enforce the relevant laws that would curb such actions. Here's more.
In a recent statement, the CIOG pointed out that too many times lives are being wasted and shattered by drunk driving, not only causing premature deaths, but also devastating effects on survivors and their families. According to the religious body, this plague must be addressed, and it called on the Guyanese authorities to enforce laws. It said, quote, "Our roads should not be killing grounds. Actively combat the problem by enforcing blood alcohol content laws, setting up sobriety checkpoints, and requiring mandatory alcohol abuse classes for offenders. Let them hear from the first responders who pick up the pieces and from the medical staff that try to put the pieces back together and from the families whose lives have been ruined. Provide incentives for alcohol serving establishments to ensure that patrons do not drive drunk from their premises." End quote. The CIOG also urged that more be done on public awareness and education in order to make persons understand the importance of avoid driving under the influence of alcohol. In the same breath, the organization also implored with persons to change this culture of drunk driving. The religious body noted, quote, "As a society, let us spread awareness and let us encourage ourselves and others to act responsibly. The decision begins with individuals. Choose not to drink and drive. Make the decision before you begin drinking and before you become impaired from the alcohol. Arrange to have a designated sober driver, either someone you know personally or a trusted taxi service. Costs could be shared by multiple people in your party. It's a choice that could save innocent lives and avoid unimaginable suffering, end quote. The CIOG further urged persons to not let their friends or loved ones drink and drive, and to take the extra steps to prevent them from getting behind the wheels when their judgments are impaired from alcohol. According to the CIOG, quote, the goal is for everyone to get home safely and wake up to another day without regret. In conclusion, let us live the motto, if you are drinking, do not drive. No exceptions. It is common sense and it is the right thing to do. End quote. Only Saturday last, the government of Guyana published draft amendments to the Motor Vehicles and Road Traffic Act, as well as the Intoxicating Liquor Licensing Amendment Bill to curb driving under the influence. These proposed changes are aimed at toughening up on the penalties for drunk drivers and the bars that serve them. Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manakchand.
Countless job opportunities would become available for registered contractors and private individuals as the Region 6 administration begins its 2022 road program. Our Berbice correspondent Andrew Carmichael tells us more.
The East Berbice Quarantine region has already started its 2022 Capital Road program. Recently, 21 road contracts were signed for works to be carried out throughout the region, and according to Regional Vice Chairman Zamal Hussein, not only registered contractors will benefit.
We are fortunate now that to have 21 more roads started very shortly. Some started already. I noticed the weather. The Minister, Bishop Egel, was in the region, and he met with contractors to do rental of equipment so that they can be able to be part of the projects that will execute the larger roads, meaning the broader roads to do with asphalt and so. So they will be hiring contractors, hiring equipments, and purchasing the asphalt from people right in Region 6 so that they can be able to lay the asphalt. So this would assist to do more roads.
This year, the region has budgeted to spend $275 million on its Capital Road program. A further $200 million will be spent by the regional administration to repair streets across the region. In addition, the Ministry of Local Government and Regional Development will be undertaking road projects in all the 18 NDCs in the region. The region is also expected to benefit significantly from the Public Works Ministry, which will be undertaking several major projects in the region this year. In all, some $3 billion will be expended this year to enhance over 1,000 community roads in the East Berbice Quarantine region. As a result of this, contractors have already been preparing themselves to take advantage. This is according to Region 6 Chairman David Armagon.
And there is a new asphalt plant set up at 19-2. Right, so they have an additional plant being set up because of the additional work that is going to be done. So you have more asphalt, because the only two persons who would own asphalt plant in Berbice was Mr. Jagdeo, Mr. Chris Jagdeo, and Mr. Peter Lewis. Not and Sons own, but they have not been operating for a while. And there's another plant now being set up by Ferdinand. Many people are setting up these plants knowing the amount of work that has to be done within the region.
Some of the 21 roads to be rehabilitated in the region under its Capital Road program include Transformer Street at Alnis, Sideline Dam at Kildonan, Somer Street at number 36 Village on the Quarantine, and Nursery School Street at Glasgow New Housing Scheme. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
The Ministry of Culture, Youth and Sports, in collaboration with Hits and Jams Entertainment, on Wednesday unveiled its Genesis and Utopia band launch, which will be opening one of the country's greatest events to ever be hosted, the Caribbean Premier League's Cricket Carnival. Kicking off these exciting activities are a string of concerts slated for next week, featuring some of the Caribbean's biggest artists, including Kes and the band. Amar Prasad has the story.
The excitement of CPL Cricket Carnival 2022 began on Wednesday with the official launch of the Genesis and Utopia band concerts, which will commence on May 25 and conclude on May 29. The first concert will be the Cooler Touchdown Party, followed by the Botheration Dance Hall Mega Concert, the Eldorado Singing Nettles Concert, to Stink and Dotty Juve, Eden's the Golden White Toga Party, and then the final event being the Soca and Wine Party. These concerts will be headlined by Soca, Dancehall, and Chutney's latest trending artists.
Genesis and Utopia Band launch, which is set to begin the road to Cricket Carnival, which lies a lot of excitement ahead, and we want to kick off the excitement starting on the 25th to the 29th. We've put together 5 days of 6 exciting events ranging from drinks inclusive concerts, parties, Juve brunch, and performances by some of the most trendiest local and regional artists, like with the likes of Gulliras, Kosh, Jutovin, Vanilla, Nessa, Vacardi, Tony Cuts, Heatwave, and the Fame Band, Patrice Roberts, Ravi B, Kenneth Saleh, Kess, the band, Young Brother, Chanel Mir, and also Skeng, just to name some of who will be headlining these exciting events.
Since the relaxing of the COVID-19 restrictions amid a slowdown in infections, the Guyanese party life has been resuscitated, with a variety of concerts and events already being hosted. The CPL Cricket Carnival is considered the most hype, being highly anticipated by not only cricket fans, but die-hard revelers. Minister of Culture, Youth and Sport Charles Ramson explained that the events will promote and display Guyana's uniqueness. He noted too that the concerts will prove that the country is capable of hosting world-class events.
And as we evolve, as we transition in this period, and the country begins to transform, the pride and the uniqueness of Guyanese people, it must show itself to the world in a very elaborate way.
Executive Director of the Guyana Tourism Authority, Kamrul Baksh, noted too that events of this magnitude not only promote local tourism, but has the ability to improve and enhance coordination, integration, and harmony regionally as well as nationally. For the evening news, Omar Prasad.
And now for a look at the Birch Reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, May 19 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is scheduled to be closed on Thursday, May 19 at 6 hours 25 for a period of 1.5 hours.
Guyana Harpy Eagles on 116 for 2 at T on day 1, and Edgel elected to chair GOA Athletes Commission. Details of these stories and more in the Sportcast, sponsored by Macorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
It happens. Your septic tank is full. All the waste from your toilet goes into your septic tank through the sewage line. When your tank is full, the 2 most common indicators are an overflowing tank and an overflowing toilet. It is recommended that Sevon's Waste Management empty your septic tank every 2 to 3 years to avoid any embarrassment. And before you can say, shh, it's gone. Call Sevon's Waste Management today at 218-1455 or 218-1156.
Poultry farmers, save money by cutting down the time it takes to pluck your chickens with the plucking machine from Sylvie's. Now available at affordable prices in 3 sizes: 500, 550 and 600 mm, 110 220 volts, 60 cycles, 1450 RPM. Replacement motors and the plucking fingers are also readily available right now at Sylvie's Variety Store, High and Hatfield Streets, Georgetown.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality, or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Satco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store, located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rheinveld. The government of Guyana, in collaboration with CARICOM, will be hosting its premier Agri-Investment Forum and Expo. Don't miss the opportunity to showcase your products and services, network with local, regional, and international businesses and investors, and gain invaluable knowledge and exposure from pioneers in the agriculture industry. It's the first ever Agri-Investment Forum and Expo from the 19th to the 21st of May at the Arthur Chung Convention Center.
At John Lewis Styles, we carry only first quality men's and women's clothing, footwear, and accessories. As authorized dealers, our items come directly from the manufacturing brands and are available in all sizes and colors. What we sell was never on display in another store. It's time you know the truth about what you buy. Come visit us on Waterloo Street. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Get the right seal right now from Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc., your immediate SKF sealing solutions. The SKF Seal Jet Machine is capable of building seals from 5mm to 600mm in diameter in under 5 minutes. With technical support readily available, you can get a customized seal to suit virtually any industrial application, like buffer, rod, wiper, and piston seals. SKF Seal Jet Machine, now at Industrial Supply of Guyana, Inc.